Hello, inner shifters, how you doing? Your host, Sophia here. As how hydration helps regulate our body temperature. It's one of those truths that we often overlook until the body taps us on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I'm struggling here." So let's pretend we're talking after a morning walk or maybe during a long drive with the windows rolled down. You've got your water bottle in hand, and I've got thoughts pouring out. Let's go deep into this together. Our bodies are absolute miracles, right? And one of the quiet miracles they pull off every single day is keeping our internal temperature right around 98. 6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 Celsius. It doesn't seem that impressive at first, but think about this. We go from hot yoga classes to ice cold smoothies, from hikes in the blistering sun to air-conditioned offices, and somehow our body just keeps on humming. No overheating, no freezing, just that sweet, stable equilibrium. And a massive player in that is water. Simple, unassuming, beautiful water. You ever watch a kid run around in the summertime, laughing, cheeks flushed, hair damp from sweat? That's hydration in action, quite literally. Sweat is our body's air conditioning. When your internal thermostat senses a rise in core temperature, it tells the sweat glands, "Okay, time to get to work." And as sweat evaporates off your skin, it cools you down. But here's the catch: without enough water in your system, there's no sweat. No sweat means no cooling. And no cooling, that's when we're courting heat exhaustion or even worse. I once went on a hike with a group of friends in the Arizona desert. It was one of those overconfident mornings. We packed snacks, brought sunblock, but underestimated how much water we'd need. One of the guys, Javier, he's the adventurous type, always out ahead of the group, full of energy. But about halfway up the trail, he started dragging. His face was red, his pace slowed, and he said he didn't feel great. We found a bit of shade, sat him down, and gave him our extra water. After a few sips, it was like watching color return to a painting. His energy bounced back slowly, but noticeably, and he looked up at us and said, "I had no idea my body needed it that badly." That moment stuck with me. Because it's just so easy to forget until it's too late. The body whispers first: dry mouth, fatigue, a mild headache, and if you don't listen, it starts to shout. That's why staying hydrated isn't just about preventing discomfort, it's a gesture of self-respect. It's saying, "I care enough about you to pay attention." And here's something else I find so motivating. When you're hydrated, your body performs better. Not just at the gym or during a workout, but just in life. Your brain thinks clearer. Your digestion flows smoother. Your skin looks brighter. And yes, your temperature stays regulated, even when the world around you shifts constantly. Have you ever noticed how people talk about glow when someone is really taking care of themselves? I swear a big part of that glow is water. It's internal love turned outward. I remember chatting with a woman at a wellness retreat. Her name was Lana. She had this quiet wisdom about her, and she shared how for years she used coffee to power through her demanding job, skipping meals, running on fumes. She said her body finally rebelled. Panic attacks, chronic fatigue, the whole storm. And do you know what one of her first acts of healing was? She started drinking water. Just water. Every morning. Before her phone, before her emails, before the world rushed in. It was simple, but it was revolutionary. And it was the first time I started listening to what I actually needed, she told me. And the first thing I needed, she said with a laugh, was not another spreadsheet. It was hydration. Keeping our temperature steady might seem minor, but it's foundational. Your muscles do like overheating. Your brain doesn't think clearly when your body is stressed from heat. Even your mood can swing when you're dehydrated. Ever had one of those days where everything feels heavier, more frustrating, more blah, and then you realize you haven't had a glass of water since breakfast? Yeah. Me too. There's something gentle and profound about remembering that your body is always working for you. You don't have to consciously think, I need to keep my temperature at 98. Alex, it's automatic. Your brain is monitoring, your skin is releasing heat, your blood vessels are expanding or contracting, all without you lifting a finger. But water is like the trusted partner in that dance. It's the assistant behind the curtain, making sure every cue hits, every system flows. That's why I like to keep water around like a loyal sidekick. A bottle in the car, a glass on the desk, a reminder on my phone if I need it. Not because I'm obsessive, but because I know what a difference it makes. When I feel a little foggy or a bit anxious or overheated, my first question is no longer, what's wrong with me? It's become, have I had enough water today? That question alone has saved me so much needless stress. Now don't get me wrong, hydration isn't a magic cure for everything. But it sure lays the foundation. Like tending soil before planting anything. If your inner climate is steady, cooled, supported, you're more able to face the heat outside, literally and metaphorically. I once gave a talk on mindfulness, and afterward, a woman approached me and said, I've been so focused on meditation and yoga and affirmations, but I never realized my body was just begging for something so basic. She had tears in her eyes as she held up her half-empty water bottle. This is self-care too, isn't it? Yes. 1,000 times yes. So as we sit here and reflect on something as ordinary as body temperature, I hope you remember how extraordinary it is that your body is always working behind the scenes to protect you. And you don't have to wait until you're dizzy on a sunny day or dragging in a meeting to honor that work. You can do it now. With a zip, with a refill, with the choice to check in and say, hey body, I see you. I've got your back. It doesn't matter if you're running marathons or watching reruns on the couch. Whether you're a teacher corralling kids or a student pulling all-nighters. Everyone benefits from better hydration. Because staying cool isn't just about comfort. It's about supporting your body's innate intelligence. So next time you feel a bit off, a little too warm, a little too weary, pause. To drink water. Let it do what it does best. Let it carry you back to balance. And maybe, if you're like me, you'll start to see hydration not as an afterthought, but as a loving ritual. One that cools, calms, and restores you, not just in the heat of summer, but in the heat of life. So here's the scene. You wake up one morning and everything just feels tight. You stretch your arms overhead, roll your neck around, maybe try a toe touch, and your body lets you know loud and clear, you're not 17 anymore. But here's the thing a lot of us don't realize. Hydration plays a major role in how your joints move and your muscles feel. Water isn't just about quenching thirst. It's the invisible cushion, the silky glide in your stride, the difference between stiff and fluid. I remember chatting with a man in his 60s named Marco, sweet guy, longtime runner, salt and pepper beard, the kind of laugh that fills a room. He told me about how, in his 50s, he started feeling aches he couldn't run through anymore. My knees, he said, they used to feel like springs. Now they feel like rusty hinges. He tried everything, stretching, supplements, fancy insoles, but it wasn't until his PT asked about his hydration that the light bulb went on. Turns out he'd been drinking mostly coffee and the occasional soda. Hardly any water. Once he started hydrating consistently, he said it was like oiling the gears. His joints still reminded him of his age, sure, but they stopped screaming. They moved. They worked. And that gave him a kind of freedom again. Your joints, they're cushioned by synovial fluid, this slippery substance that keeps your bones from grinding together like worn-out brake pads. Guess what makes up a large chunk of that fluid? Water. Without enough of it, everything gets sticky, creaky, uncomfortable. It's like trying to ride a bike with a dry chain. Not pleasant. Muscles are no different. They need water to contract smoothly, to recover after exertion, to stay soft. Ever get a cramp in the middle of the night? That seize up that jolts you awake like lightning in your calf? Dehydration is often the sneaky culprit. It's your body's SOS signal saying, hey, I'm working here, but you didn't give me what I needed to do the job. There's this woman I met, her name was Priya, who swore that the simple habit of drinking water before, during, and after her workouts totally transformed her yoga practice. As she said, stretches became deeper, more fluid. That sharp edge she sometimes felt in her hips or shoulders, it softened. Not because the poses changed, but because her tissue, her fascia, her muscles, her joints was better nourished. As she called it, her secret juice. Not a green smoothie, just water. When we talk about movement, we often praise flexibility, strength, endurance. But you know what makes all of those possible? Ease. And water gives your body that ease. It's what helps muscles glide rather than tug. It keeps those lovely connective tissues hydrated and elastic. Without it, we're like dried out rubber bands, one good pull and snap. I once led a workshop where we did a simple experiment. We all did a series of shoulder stretches in the morning. Then we all committed to sipping water consistently throughout the afternoon. We repeated the same stretches in the evening. The difference remarkable. People reached farther. They winced less. Someone literally gasped and said, I didn't think my shoulder could do that. A hydration doesn't just support function, it enhances capability. Now, I'm not saying water alone will turn you into a ballerina or a CrossFit champ overnight. But it's like the unsung hero in every physical victory. It's there behind the scenes, whispering to your joints and muscles, you've got this. And when you keep that support steady, your body starts to trust you more. It meets you halfway. What I really love about this is the message behind it. You don't need fancy gear, expensive supplements, or complex routines to give your body what it craves. Sometimes the magic is in the simplest acts. The refill of a glass, the pause to sip, the steady flow of nourishment that keeps everything within you humming along. I had a client once, Michael, who joked that his knees only spoke one language: hydration. He'd forget to drink enough and boom, clicks, aches, stiffness. But when he stayed on top of it, he'd text me midweek like, hydrated knees are happy knees. Sounds silly, but it became a mantra in our sessions. Every drop of water, a love note to the parts of us that carry us through the day. And it's not just about recovery, it's also about prevention. Hydrated muscles are less prone to strain. Hydrated joints are less likely to inflame. It's your daily insurance policy against injury. A quiet shield between you and discomfort. How amazing is that? So whether you're lifting weights, chasing after kids, holding plank for dear life in yoga, or just trying to get through a day without feeling like the Tin Man, hydration matters. It's subtle, it's powerful, and it's yours right there in that bottle. Next time you stretch, take a moment to appreciate the symphony of cooperation happening inside. Muscles lengthening, joints articulating, tissues sliding, all of it made smoother with water. Then take a sip. A toast to your bones and sinew and ligaments. They're showing up for you. Show up for them. Let water be your partner in movement. Your invisible spotter. Your quiet coat. With every gulp you're saying, let's keep dancing, body. Let's keep going with grace. And honestly, I wish more people knew just how much water fuels the brain just as much as it fuels the body. So imagine we're sitting across from each other at your kitchen table. Maybe it's been a long morning, you're on your second cup of coffee, and I gently slide a glass of water your way like, try this instead. Oh, you ever hit that 3P? Them. While where your brain fog rolls in like a thundercloud, you've been staring at your screen or juggling a dozen tasks, and suddenly everything feels heavy and a little slower. That's not just being tired, it might be your brain quietly whispering, hydrate me. Water doesn't just keep us cool and limber, it lights us up. Your brain is made up of about 75% water, and every little neuron inside that marvelous head of yours needs it to function well. Think of it like the electricity running through a city. When hydration is flowing, messages move faster, clearer, with fewer hiccups. But when you're dehydrated, it's like trying to make a phone call with a bad signal. You're still trying to connect, but it's fuzzy, frustrating, and full of missed moments. I remember this young woman I met at a seminar. Her name was Izzy. A super smart, ambitious, but always exhausted. She told me I can't focus. I drink green tea and bullet coffee and still feel like a zombie. We looked at her routine together, and you know what was missing? Yep. Water. A plain, regular water. She started with 1 glass in the morning, then added another before lunch, and within a week she said it was like someone switched the lights back on. I didn't realize I was just dried out, she laughed. I thought something was wrong with me. But there wasn't anything broken, just a basic need unfulfilled. And look, I get it. We're taught to chase energy in flashy ways. Energy drinks, sugar rushes, triple shot lattes. But our body often just needs the basics. Hydration is energy's unsung hero. It powers our metabolism, supports oxygen flow, helps our cells actually produce energy rather than constantly scrape the barrel. When you're hydrated, you're more alert. Quicker on your feet. Sharper. I once gave a talk, and halfway through, I noticed a guy in the second row looking totally drained. I paused, passed him the bottle of water I had next to me, and just smiled. He took a few sips and nodded gratefully. Afterward, he came up and said, "I didn't even know I was thirsty until I started drinking." Oh, that hit me. Because how many times in life do we feel slow, foggy, unmotivated, and blame ourselves, when really all we needed was to replenish the simplest thing? Water is your built-in refresh button. I can't count the number of people I've seen go from sluggish to springy with a little hydration and a few deep breaths. It's like your body is saying, "Thank you for remembering me." Your mind clears. Your posture lifts. Even your mood starts to shift. That's another piece of it, your emotions. Dehydration can make you irritable, anxious, even down. But when you're hydrated, your brain's chemistry finds a better rhythm. You process more calmly. You react more thoughtfully. You feel better because your system is actually supported. And hey, it's not about drinking gallons at once. It's about consistency. It's about forming a rhythm with yourself, a relationship that says, "I'll check in often. I'll care enough to notice when something's off." Just that awareness is powerful, even profound. One of my favorite stories comes from a writer named Leo, who shared how his best creative sessions weren't when he had the perfect setup or soundtrack, but when he just kept a tall bottle of water next to his desk. Whenever he got stuck, he'd sip, stretch, refocus. It became his ritual of clarity. "It's like my ideas swim better when I'm hydrated," he joked. And honestly, same. So whether you're working, studying, dreaming, or simply trying to make it through the day with your head on straight, water matters. It doesn't ask for much. Just a moment of your attention, a small refill, a simple yes to your body's needs. And in return, it gives you back, well, the brighter, steadier, more focused you. If your brain feels like it's stuck in second gear, let water be the key to shift back into drive. You deserve that clarity, that spark, that flow. I thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and do all those lovely things you wonderful people do. I'll see you next time.